We've been looking at some really interesting stuff about AI in agriculture, these personalized farm advisory reports.
Yeah,
And we've got a report here that was generated for a specific farmer named Ravi.
right.
And it's incredible to think that this technology could really be changing the future of farming,
It
right?
really could, yeah. I mean, one of the most fascinating things about these reports is how they can take these huge amounts of data, all these different factors, and distill them down into really practical, actionable advice for a specific farm,
I
you
see.
know,
Right.
tailored to their exact needs.
Yeah. Okay, so we're looking at Ravi's report here.
hmm
And his farm is, what is it, 1,354 acres.
That's right.
And he's growing Areca nut.
Yeah, Areca nut. So that's probably not something most people have growing in their backyard, right? I mean, it's primarily grown in parts of Asia and Africa.
Right.
It's a mild stimulant, often chewed like tobacco, and it's really important in some cultural practices.
Okay, interesting. So not your average backyard garden, that's for sure.
Mm.
But how does this report actually help Ravi manage a farm that size? Because that's huge.
Well, imagine you've got this whole team of experts, right? Agronomists, soil scientists, meteorologists, all working together just for you. That's kind of what the AI is doing. I
Uh,
mean, it analyzes satellite images, which can actually tell you a lot about the crop's health and the condition of the soil.
wow.
And it doesn't just look at general weather forecasts. It factors in what we call hyperlocal weather patterns.
Okay.
So very specific to Ravi's geographic location, the rainfall, humidity, wind patterns, all of that. And then it takes all of this data, combines it with information about the soil, water availability, even market trends. I mean, it's really incredible.
Yeah, it's like taking all those things farmers have always had to worry about, juggle in their heads,
Yeah.
and making them clear and manageable.
Exactly. And you can really see that in the irrigation recommendations, for example. The report actually lays out a day-by-day irrigation schedule for Ravi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's not just about when to irrigate, it specifies the exact quantity of water needed.
Okay, and it even suggested using drip irrigation for some areas, right?
Yeah, that's right. And one thing I noticed was it highlighted this discrepancy between the predicted rainfall and how much water the plants were actually losing, something called evapotranspiration.
Right, evapotranspiration. It sounds so complicated.
It sounds complicated, but it's basically just how much water is being lost from the soil and the plants through evaporation and transpiration. Transpiration is just the process of water moving through the plant.
Okay, yeah.
And the AI can calculate this so accurately, It makes sure Ravi isn't overwatering or underwatering, which is not just about healthy crops, but also about conserving water.
Right, yeah, water is such a precious resource these days.
Absolutely. And becoming more so all the time.
This is really impressive stuff. And what about this section on pest control? I saw that the AI had flagged a high probability of fruit rot in Ravi's Areca nut trees.
Yeah, fruit rot, that's a pretty common problem with Areca nut. But what's interesting here is that the report didn't just identify the issue, it actually gave Ravi options. It listed some organic solutions, like using a neem oil spray, alongside chemical pesticides, and it laid out the pros and cons of each.
Oh, wow. So it's not just about, here's the problem, it's giving choices.
Exactly. It's about empowering the farmer to make the best decision for their own situation, whether they prefer organic methods or they're okay with chemical pesticides, whatever aligns with their practices and their risk tolerance.
So it's providing these really powerful insights, but it's not trying to replace the farmer's judgment.
Right. And I think that's really important. And the report actually acknowledges that,
Right.
It clearly states that it's an AI-generated report and advises Ravi to consult with experts before acting on any of the recommendations.
That makes sense. It's about using AI as a tool, not a dictator.
Exactly. I mean, these tools have the potential to revolutionize farming, make it more efficient, more sustainable, more profitable even.
Right.
But we have to integrate them responsibly. It's about this really interesting collaboration between technology and human experience, human expertise.
Absolutely. It's really exciting to think about this personalized report for Ravi. It's like a window into the future of farming,
Right.
A future where AI is helping us grow food more effectively and more responsibly. Um, what do you think? Like, when you look at all of this, what are your thoughts on where AI is going in agriculture, how it's going to shape things?
Well, I think,
Yeah.
you know, hard to say for sure, but the potential is enormous. And I think Ravi's report, it gives us a really good glimpse of that potential. It's a really fascinating area of development, that's for sure.
It really is.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
So much potential.